Hello, my name is Tessa Stewart, and today I would like to talk to you about using Microsoft OneNote's Class Notebook. This is a free tool for educators whose schools and districts use Office 365 for teachers and students. Similar to Google Classroom or G Suite for education, Class Notebook creates a blended learning platform with a core aim of simplifying grading and student communication in a paperless way. As you can see here, I am in the online version of OneNote through my school's 365 portal. Up here in the corner, I can click this and it opens all of my apps. All I did was go to OneNote. On this page, you can see all of the different OneNote notebooks that I have, and I have quite a few. So you can have a OneNote class notebook for each one of your classes or each one of your class periods, whatever works best for you. Class Notebook in general was built on top of Microsoft OneNote, which by itself is a computer and mobile program for free-form information gathering and multi-user collaboration. It is built on the idea of gathering research and sharing information with peers. Google Classroom's primary design is to streamline the process of sharing files between students and teachers. Class Notebook takes that one step further by setting up what is basically a multi-section virtual binder to organize, store, keep, and access all of those shared files and assignments. Rather than spend this video talking about how to set up a class notebook, I want to share some of its features, how to use them, and how I use it in my classroom. I have included some step-by-step instructions with screenshots for class notebook setup in the attached documents, and I will also provide a link to Microsoft's instructions because they have a little interactive thing that makes it really easy to understand. Okay, so like I said, you can have a notebook for each class you teach or each class period, whatever works best for you. I'm going to click into my high school game design notebook to use it as an example for today's video. So when you click your notebook, it opens in a new tab. Sometimes it takes a minute to load, it really depends on your internet. But as you can see, when it opens, it's basically a giant binder with all of your resources and all of the individual student notebooks. Students do not have access to the other student notebooks, so you don't really have to worry about that. So on my first tab, it shows my list of all the notebooks I have. When I am in OneNote online, I can also still access that list by hitting these three lines right here, and they will load right here and show what notebooks I have. So just going to close that up real quick. As you can see, there are a lot of different sections in this notebook, but there's a couple main sections that I'm going to explore with you today. We're going to talk about this collaboration space section, content library, teacher only, and then all of these student sections. So the first section I want to talk about is the collaboration space. So all you have to do to open a section is click on it and it drops down any subsections that you might have. So collaboration space. This is at the top of the notebook and provides students with an area where they can work on assignments together or have discussions. I like that this is right in their notebook and they do not have to open another app to access this. One thing I've noticed with students I've worked with that use Google Classroom is that usually if they have a document they're working on with their friends, they have to go to Google Drive, go to Slides, go to Google Docs, whatever it's on, and leave the classroom. But this is right in the classroom. So we have two sections in ours. I have game reviews, which we basically use as a discussion board. So students can come in and type their discussion. We also have a team game design section where students were working in groups on a little project with each other. So like I said, it's collaboration space, so every student can be working on their own computer. They don't even have to be sitting next to each other, but I usually do have them sitting next to each other. But they can all type on this. It's open space, so they can type right here, or I can come and type over here, or I can come and type over here, so they don't have to run into each other, and they can all type on the screen, insert pictures, draw, insert videos, all at the same time, and it all updates simultaneously because it's connected to the cloud. I think this is great for planning or brainstorming group projects before the students put it together in a presentation. And then, like I said, you can have different subsections within the collaboration space. So you can separate this out by different assignments that your students are working on. But you can also do something really cool. If I right-click a subsection, I am usually able to add a password to it. So maybe not in here. So there are a couple versions of OneNote. You have it on your browser like I'm accessing it right now, but you can also access it via an app. So when I am in the app version of it, if I come back up here to my collaboration space, I can come here and I can password protect a section. This allows me to create multiple group subsections and give them some private space to work on without the other students being able to see it. So that's kind of cool. You do have to have the app downloaded for this password protection to add it. Once you have it added, you can access it easily in the online notebook that we were just in, but to add it, you have to be in the app. The app, however, is free. Okay, so back to the online version of this. Yes, so that is the first spot in the OneNote Class Notebook. It's collaboration space where students can work together on documents and make things like that. All right, so I'm going to close up the collaboration space. The next thing we're going to come to is the content library. So again, just click on it and it will load and open the content library. So the content library is a section that all students can see, but they cannot edit anything in this section. You can have many subsections based on your needs. You can have it sectioned out in units. You can have it sectioned out as I do with handouts and templates, PowerPoints, and course content. It's really however you want. You can add as many subsections as you want. I use this section to store class handouts, notes, PowerPoints, printouts, and homework. So you can see here in handouts and templates, I have my welcome letter and agreement, and then I have a little homework assignment. All right, so here is a template assignment. I also tend to put in example assignments, at least for this class. So you can see here, I made this assignment by actually typing straight into OneNote. And you can do that, and it's great because you can add pictures or embedded videos, which I will go over later. But a lot of times teachers also don't want to have to type completely new assignments when you already have things you've been using. So OneNote is great for that too, because you can actually embed pre-existing PDFs right away. So let me go ahead and show you how to do that. I'm going to add a page down here at the bottom. And notice the page that I add goes right under the page that I was currently on. So I don't want this page right here, so I am just going to drag it down to the bottom where I want it. This page, I'm going to title it Game Mechanics Packet. All right, and then I'm going to come up here on my ribbon, which looks really familiar if you're used to Microsoft products. I am going to go to Insert, and I'm going to click, it won't let me click anything right now because I am in the title of my page. I need to get in the body of my page. So I'm going to click in the body of my page, and now these are active. I'm going to click Insert File, and I'm going to insert File Printout. So the only thing that's different from this is when you're inserting stuff to Google Classroom is usually you can insert it straight from your Google Drive. I don't have access to insert a document from my Microsoft Cloud here. It has to be on my computer. So I can go to Choose File. Right now the file I want is on my desktop. I'm going to go to Board Game Mechanics and open it and insert. And the whole PDF will load straight into the OneNote. It sometimes takes a minute for the PDFs to load when you first put them in. It also puts a little link up here if your students want to download it to their computer. Now, one thing I always do when I insert PDFs is I right-click them and, oh, sorry, it doesn't work on this portion of it. So again, I normally right-click it and set the PDF as the background so that students don't accidentally drag it all over the place. But it looks like it doesn't let me drag it online anyway, so ignore that, not a big deal. Anyway, so what I just did, I inserted a PDF so you can insert pre-existing lessons and worksheets that you already have. That is really awesome. Now, again, like I said though, this is in the content library and students cannot edit anything in the content library. They can just view it. So, there's a couple of options you have from here. Students can copy information to their own personal notebook. So for example, I put my PowerPoints into here for them to view too. Students can come in, right-click this, and copy this page into their notebooks. Alternatively, as a teacher, you don't want to have to copy things to each individual student's notebook. So Class Notebook lets you pass things out simultaneously. So there's two ways to do this. I'm going to go over one way now, and I'm going to show you another way when I get to the teacher-only section in just a second. So the first way to distribute content is go to the page that you want to distribute. Once you are there, you're going to come to the top and go to Class Notebook. When I click on Class Notebook, you see all of these different options come up on my ribbon. I'm just going to click Distribute Page. Again, we have a couple options here. The first one is Distribute Page. That lets me distribute this page to everyone that is in this class notebook. The second one I have is cross notebook distribution. So if I need to, if I have multiple classes, that are different periods, but they're the same class, I can use this cross notebook distribution to distribute it to all the different periods. The next one is individual distribution. I can use this to distribute individual worksheets to students who maybe come into my class part way through the year or happen to accidentally delete a page in their personal notebook. Last one is group distribution, which is where I can choose a certain number of students or who to send it to. So for right now, I just want to distribute this packet to everyone. So I'm going to hit Distribute Page. When I do that, it will pop up a dialog box over here and it will load. As you can see, it gives me a couple of sections right here for options. It says class notes, handouts, and homework. These are all of the sections that are in my students' notebooks. So this one isn't actually an assignment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click handouts because that's where I want it to go. And I hit distribute. As you can see here, it starts distributing to all the students and gives me a loading bar to let me know when it's complete. It also says that pages will continue distributing while I work or close the app. So that is really good to know. So normally I just close this and let it be. One thing to note is when you are using the online version of OneNote, after I distribute a page, it does not usually show up in the student's notebook right away like it should when I'm using the app. Typically what the students will have to do is after I send a page out, they hit their refresh button and normally then it shows up right away. I don't know what that little glitch is, but it is on this online version of it. Okay, so that is how you can distribute assignments you have. You can do that with ones that you insert PDFs for or ones that you write in. Super easy. The next space I want to talk about is the teacher-only space. So this space is a little unique in the fact that it is not automatically in your OneNote class notebook. So you don't have to have it in there if you don't want it. I think it's very cool because it is a spot that the students cannot see at all. So you can keep your own notes there. You can stage lessons here. You can store lesson plans here. You can store future assignments or future unit stuff. One thing I am going to try out soon is that you can also put your assessments here. So just like in Google Classroom, you can use Google Forms to do some pre-graded, or not pre-graded, but quizzes that your students can take and they grade automatically. You can do that same thing here in Class Notebook. So in my teacher-only section, I have a subsection that I titled Assessments. I have a page right here that is Game Mechanics Quiz. So again, every time you have like an assignment or notes or anything, you just start a new page for it. So I'm going to click into the body of this. And since this is Microsoft, it doesn't use Google Forms, it uses Microsoft Forms. But it's really easy. All I do is I come in here and go back to Insert. And on my insert ribbon, I hit Forms. It will automatically pop up Forms. For some reason, it does make me sign in, even though I am already signed in, but it does it automatically. And then any quizzes that I have already made, I can just hit Insert. And oh, there it goes. Give it just a second. It loads. You can see here, this I only put one question on it so far, but you can insert the quiz straight in here. It will grade it for you, basically. So take time away, save time on grading. So I said there are two ways to kind of distribute assignments in OneNote. The way I showed you earlier is what I use for notes and assignments that maybe won't all be turned in at the same time. For something like a quiz that is going to be turned in at the same time for everyone, I distribute it a little differently. So we're going to go back up here to our Class Notebook app, and we're going to do Create Assignment. So how this one is different is that it actually puts a time when it's due on the page. Okay, hold on. Oh no. Okay, well, what it does, I will put some screenshots in the document for you, but what Create Assignment does is it's really cool. It also distributes it to all students at the same time, and then it puts a due date on the assignment. So once that due date and time has passed, students can no longer edit that page in their notebook. This makes it to be where you can go back and review work and know that students turned it in on time. So that's really cool. Again, that's Create Assignment. It pops up a dialog box right here, just like the distribute page did, and you're able to do the same exact thing, but you can put a option to lock the pages once the due date has passed, and then an option to put a due date on it. So I think that's really cool and something I use with the teacher-only section and my assessments. That way my assessments are hidden since students can't see this section, and then they're also time-based. Okay, so like I said, you can do this with regular assignments as well. I just don't, as I work at a very unique school, and all of my students usually work through content at slightly different paces, so I don't want to lock the pages for everyone at the same time. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a second when I talk about work reviewing. Okay, so the last main section I want to talk about in this OneNote notebook is the student notebooks. You can see here I have all of my different students in here. I can see all of their notebooks, but they can only see their notebook. So when a student logs into OneNote, what they see is they see collaboration space, content library, and then their name. When they click on their name, it will expand to show their subsections, and they have their handouts, their homework, and their class notes section. I absolutely love this. Hold on. One more thing. Clicking on the name expands the section. These sections that I have in here are ones that I chose. When you set up your class notebook, you can add whatever sections you want, depending on your needs. So again, like I said, I absolutely love this because unlike Google Classroom, where it can sometimes be hard to find things and it's not as organized, and it's hard to go back and find something from the beginning of the semester, OneNote keeps it all organized as if it was in a live binder. So I can come to my handout section and the students can have all of their notes in order. Same thing here under notes. They can have all of their notes in order. And homework. They have all of their homework for the entire semester in here. One thing that I also really like is that if students want to, or if I want to put a video in anything, they just come in here and put the URL from the video in, and it embeds the video right into the lesson. It also leaves the source link there for students. So if they're planning a project, they will have the source to go back to. It does this for images and videos both. And so I like it because I will often have my students go find a video related to a topic that they found interesting, and then I can watch what they found interesting, and it gets them talking about things more. Also, any videos I put in my notes, they have access to them because they are embedded in their classroom forever, and so they can just go back all the time and watch them and don't have to re-find that video later. Yes. So, students have access to all of their class content. One other thing is that you can see here I can click on anything and the page has to load for a second, but I don't have to open any other documents. All of their work is already in here. I know a lot of times with Google Classroom, students will click into an assignment, and then once they get into that assignment page, they have to click a link to open the assignment, and then it opens in Google Drive or Google Slides or whatnot. What I like about OneNote is that it's all in OneNote. My students don't have to open another tab. They don't have to go to PowerPoint. They don't have to go to Microsoft Word. Their assignments are already here and loaded. It makes it a lot faster for them to look through that information when they're doing reviews or anything for finals at the end of the semester. Okay, so one other thing I want to talk about for the student section about what I love is the versatility. So you can see here, my students are able to type their answers if they want to, but OneNote itself gives you a couple of other options they can do. Like I said, they can pop in a URL and it can show a video, but you can see here, they can also write on here. So this is what I wrote. Obviously, it's the grade and everything. But students also have the ability, if they have a computer with a stylus, or even if they want to use their finger, they can write things out. Another thing they can do to answer questions, if they come on their ribbon and go to Insert, they can actually go in the question box and click Audio and insert an audio recording of them speaking. This is actually great for my ELL students who aren't very comfortable writing in English yet, but feel a little bit more comfortable speaking in English. It also lets me help them with their vocab and their pronunciation, and I can give them feedback in audio as well. So I think that's really cool. This is also something that would be really cool to use for like a foreign language class, because you could have students record themselves speaking. So I think that's kind of cool. Yeah, so versatility in how they can answer. They can write, they can draw, they can type, they can record audio, they can insert pictures, all of that. And like I said, I can also do all of that when I am grading and adding feedback, which is so cool. I didn't do it here, but usually I like writing in a rainbow pen. You can come over here to the draw section and change the different pens you have. In the app on my iPad, I have a rainbow pen, and students love that. They think it's so much fun. But yeah, so those are all the main sections in the OneNote notebook. Again, that's the collaboration space where students can work together on pages. And remember, you can have individual group work here that is locked for only groups to access. The content library where you can post everything, handouts, PowerPoints, homework assignments and everything. Students can view it, but they can't edit it. The teacher only section, which is only viewable and editable by you and any co-teachers you might have. It is where you can stage things. And then the individual student notebooks. Okay, so besides the notebooks, there is just one or two other features that I really want to go over and talk about real quick that I feel like are necessary to really mention because of what OneNote Class Notebook is supposed to be. I said it's supposed to be for easy grading and communication, right? Well, right here you can see communication super easy, and we can also record audio easy. But to actually grade things rather than having to click through every single student and go to their homework tab and grade something, there's an easier way. So I come back over here to my class notebook, and my class notebook options pop up on the ribbon again, and I can go to review student work. Again, my little box over here will pop up. When I am in review student work, it will take me to the sections that I have in my student notebooks. So normally I review homework, I click the section, and then I click next. All your different assignments will pop up here. So the one that I'm going to click on right now is in-depth game review number 1. And then it shows you your different students that you have. So when I click on a student, so when I click on a student, their page will pop up right here. So that way I'm quickly able to go through every student and see, did they do this assignment, and give them feedback on it right away and do it assignment by assignment rather than student by student. And then also one other thing to note here is this is when I will usually lock the pages. So when I am sending out quizzes, I will put a due date on them and set them to lock automatically. Other homework, I will lock the pages as I come in and review it. So here I can hit lock pages, and then if I have students that are still working on it, I can come in and individually unlock it. Oh, I guess that only works on the app. Sorry about that. So normally you can individually unlock them on the app, but here it just locks it for everyone. So when I lock it, only I am able to write it. They're no longer able to edit that one page, so they can't go back in and add something after I have already given them feedback. If I want them to be able to correct their answers later, all I have to do is come back and unlock the page. I think that is just about it. The only other thing that I really enjoy about OneNote is that when I am going in and giving my students feedback, like I said, I like to write in Rainbow Pen, but I also like to give stickers. So if I am over here in their area, I can come over here and click stickers. And I can choose whatever sticker I want to put in here. And they normally like that. So I'll put it in when they did a really good job on their assignment, or just when I'm being silly, or if I want to call something to their attention. This assignment's not done yet though by the students, so I'm not going to put a sticker in there just now. Yes, that is OneNote Class Notebook for the classroom. It has a lot of different features, and it is something that I have really enjoyed integrating into my classroom. OneNote Class Notebook is an amazingly organized, blended learning platform that makes content distribution, student collaboration, and grading easier and paperless. I can access it from my iPad, from my computer at school, from my computer at home. I can use the app to access it. I can use Google Chrome to access it. I can use the iPad app or Chrome on the iPad. My students can access it on their Chromebooks at school, on the computers in the computer lab at school, or on their computers at home. So it's super versatile and able to be accessed from anywhere as long as you have an internet connection. It also has great versatility for learning differentiation. Like I said, students are able to write, draw, type, insert video, insert audio, insert pictures, and there's minimal loading time, and you don't have to open a whole bunch of other apps to get to everything. It can be used on its own, like I have here. My students don't really go to other things. Or you can have students integrate it with other Web 2.0 technologies such as Microsoft Sway or Publisher or S'more newsletters or anything like that. My basic thought on OneNote is that it's easy to learn for students and teachers because if you've used Microsoft Word, you can use OneNote. So that's all for that. If you have any questions, please feel free to let me know in the discussion board, or you can send me an email if you're someone from my school watching this. Also, look for the look for the attachment I have. It has some screenshots that summarize how to do some of the things I showed in this video today. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed.